Excellencies, ambassadors, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, a very warm welcome to the Indo-Japan Strategic Dialogue Shaping the Asia Century. Few bilateral relationships have evolved with the quiet consistency and strategic trust that define India and Japan. Built on shared democratic values, mutual respect, and a common vision for a free, open, and inclusive Indo-Pacific, this partnership today spans infrastructure, technology, manufacturing, defense, innovation, talent, and increasingly culture. To explore the next chapter of this relationship, we have Rahul Kanwal, CEO and Editor-in-Chief NDTV, for a special fireside conversation with the Honorable Union Minister for Commerce and Industry, Shri Piyush Goyal. Thank you, sir.
Hello and welcome to the NDTV World India-Japan Strategic Dialogue. So we're in very exciting times, and the man who's in the midst of a lot of that excitement is India's Minister for Commerce and Industry, Minister Piyush Goyal. Welcome to the NDTV India-Japan Strategic Dialogue. Can we have a round of applause as we welcome the Minister, please?
Thank you. Thank you very much.
I want to start by asking you, from the lens of the Indian government, Minister Goyal, what according to you are the key takeaways you're expecting from the visit of the Japanese Prime Minister to India this time round?
Rahul, it's been a relationship of trust, a very comprehensive relationship where we have, over the years, ever since the time of Prime Minister Abe-san, Prime Minister Modi has been building and nurturing this relationship. And I believe that post the reset of our partnership into a comprehensive strategic partnership, and after the announcement in the 15th Japan-India Summit, where Japan also committed to invest 100 trillion yen, that's about $65–70 billion, in India in different sectors in infrastructure and industry. We have seen a significant increase in the engagement with Japan, whether it's on geopolitical issues, whether it's on technology issues, whether it's in investment, trade. And I suspect that this engagement of Prime Minister Takaichi-san will help evolve this partnership to take it to the next level.
The India-Japan relationship is described as being heavy on investment and light on trade. We have about $27 billion of trade. India's exports about $6 billion plus, our imports are $21 billion plus. The trade deficit is heavily skewed against us. And you've spoken about this, Minister, in the past, the need for a review of the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement. Is that something you'll be pressing the Japanese side? And how do you see that happen, in what form and shape?
Over the years, different partners have had different roles to play in India's economic development. Japan's engagement with India has largely been focused around investments. For that matter, but for the Japanese partnership with India, we at one point of time did not even have modern automobiles in India. It was Maruti Suzuki that came in nearly 40 years ago and brought to India a modern, affordable, technology-driven automobile, which ultimately set India on the track to become a global power in the sector of automobiles. They have played an important role in specific industry segments, specific infrastructure segments. I don't know if you are aware that many, many years ago, our first dedicated freight corridor was built with Japanese partnership in Odisha, which helped us evacuate iron ore. And they took the export of iron ore obligation also in return for investments in building up the infrastructure. So it's a partnership that has many dimensions. Trade also is an important element of this partnership, particularly given our complementary strengths. What we get from Japan are largely technology-driven products. what we sell to Japan are also value-added products.
So the Comprehensive Economic Partnership Agreement with Japan was signed way back in 2011. We signed a similar SEPA with the UAE, and in 3 years, trade crossed $100 billion. So my question is, why is it that it's taken 15 plus years to reach just about $27.5 billion? And what are you as trade minister doing to try and increase the volume of trade and also improve some of the imbalances that currently prevent Indian services companies or Indian citizens going to Japan and working there, where some of the regulations are so stringent at the moment that Indians are finding it tough to grow the trade numbers?
Every country has regulations. I mean, we have our own regulations. Businesses will have to participate in the regulatory process, will have to find opportunities to expand trade. For instance, Japan is looking for a number of highly skilled caregivers. But one of the prerequisites, and I would say rightly so, is that the person should know the Japanese language. Otherwise, how are they going to be able to provide nursing facilities to the aged people in Japan? Ideally, if you have a combination of language and some knowledge of their culture, it makes it even better. My sense is that people are recognizing that. In my own skill development center in Mumbai, we run classes on Japanese language and Japanese culture, which helps children get very highly paid jobs in Japan after that. As the Ministry of Commerce, we have recently come out with an export promotion mission, which has several dimensions to it, one of which is regulatory engagement with different countries. So under the EPM, we are encouraging our industry to be more forthcoming in getting regulatory approvals, which are quite expensive in Japan and often could be the reason that people or industry has not been very forthcoming.
Governments have been complaining about it, generic drugs have been complaining about it. The time taken to get regulatory approval has been one of the concerns of India.
Undoubtedly, it's an issue that I have been discussing with my counterparts at different forums. It's an issue that will have to be resolved both at the government level and at the industry level.
The India-Japan dialogue was actually meant to happen in Guwahati. And Japan, interestingly, works with India on the Act East corridor. What role do you think a country like Japan can help in the upliftment of India's northeast region? Because a lot of people in Guwahati were actually looking forward to these deliberations happening there because of scheduling reasons. Ultimately, they couldn't. But the role that you think Japan can play in trying to uplift economic development in the northeast?
Well, I think Japan has over the years been an important part of India's Act East policy. The Northeast is an area which has very high talent, very good talent. The Northeast is much closer to the ASEAN region, and linkages between the Northeast and this ASEAN region make it a very natural gateway for trade with ASEAN. And therefore, Japan and India working together to promote industry, to promote the infrastructure in the Northeast is a very natural trajectory of partnership, serving the eastern parts of the continent. It also very well fits into Prime Minister Modi's own personal commitment to the people of India and to the people of the Northeast, that every region in India should see equitable development.
We appreciate you taking out time and joining us here at the NDTV India-Japan Strategic Dialogue. Can we have a round of applause for Minister Piyush Goyal, please? Thank you.
Thank you very much.
Well, throughout the day today, we've explored the many pillars of the India-Japan partnership, from investment and manufacturing to security, as we explore how our two countries can help shape what many are calling the Asian century.
For India, JICA is the largest provider of international cooperation. For Japan as well, India is the largest recipient of its international cooperation. We have been working in India over 68 years, and they invest already for more than INR 4.6 trillion. And then we are running a 120 project right now. And a big example for here is Delhi Metro, I think. Yes, we have been working together more than a decade. And Delhi Metro network is already becoming one of the top 10 cities in the world. So, and then JICA is further continuing to expand such important infrastructure network.
DMRC is a shining example of Indo-Japanese collaboration, how such a mammoth project could be done timely and in a brownfield area. So that is, and I would say that Japanese, in fact, assistance does not come only in terms of financial, but it is more so in terms of building, like project management. In fact, many of the construction practices in India got improved because of Japanese intervention through Delhi Metro.
Since the Indo-Pacific has been a main pillar for Japanese foreign policy for many years, and this is not only bilateral relationship between Japan and India, but covers a whole range of area of Indo-Pacific. And so this is a time for India-Japan to collaborate even more in view of a changing and very dramatic, turbulent situation surrounding the world, and China is rising, and Japan and India always share the very important values and share the basic views of international situations. The importance of an Indo-Pacific partnership within the context of bilateral relationship is even more important than before.
If you look at the first 20 years of the century, 2000 to 2020, the Japanese investment in India, if you take 5-year, half-decadal run rates, it's been coming in at about 8 to 10 billion for every 5 years. Now, that 8 to 10 billion rhythm or cadence, whatever you might want to call it, has now shifted into 25 to 35 billion. So it's gone up 3x. It's a huge shift. Especially if you're associated with the Indo-Japanese space, it's a huge shift which has taken place. So I don't think, my thesis or my sense is I don't think it's about getting more Japanese investment, and that is always welcome. But I think it's more about creating the bandwidth to productively receive and deploy that investment.
What has remarkably changed in India in the last 10 years is the speed of implementation, and also very welcome thing for Japanese is the consciousness of quality.
Right.
And nowhere in the world do you see 34 metro projects and 50 kilometers of road and 200 gigawatts at the lowest cost of renewable energy being deployed. But the other thing, and Digital India, which sort of showed the world that scalability, affordability can be done at speed, it surprised even India and Indian people. The change that you're seeing in condition monitoring of existing assets is a huge opportunity to revitalize the existing infrastructure and at the same time build new infrastructure.
I feel like that India has been always a priority in the issue in the boardroom of the Japanese companies, but the priority has been changed, I think. So when I see it, when I compare with the 10 years ago and now, India used to be one of the options to have the manufacturing hub or the supply chain option, but now it is the priority place to be. Now it is the place to co-create a new product with the quality product. India is now for the Japanese companies to produce a quality products together with the Indian talents.
Today, if you look at the Indo-Pacific or generally around the world, things are changing very rapidly. And to some extent, Trump is really, spearheading that change. To my mind, I think the term Indo-Pacific itself is now under question. The concept of Indo-Pacific is likely to change if what Trump called a G2, or a kind of an accommodation or understanding between China and US comes up, then I think all institutions in the Indo-Pacific region are going to change.
Of course, China is important, but at the same time, we should not forget one important word of the Prime Minister Shinzo Abe in 2007 in the Indian Parliament. Strong India is the best interest of Japan, he said. A strong Japan is the best interest for India. That's also what he said. But the important thing is strong India. That is the most important part of Quad. Because you can imagine that without India, there is no Indo-Pacific, just the Pacific. So that's why he need to say Indo-Pacific because of India. Quad is not needed if there is no India. India is most important. Other three countries, Japan, US, Australia, they can talk easily because they are ally of the United States. But India, newcomer, that's why new concept, Quad, is needed.
She didn't just learn a new language, she won millions of hearts through it. Human hearts and those virtual ones also that you see when you hit like on social media. She's a creator from Japan who chose to learn Hindi, immersed herself in Indian culture, and today has one of the largest Indian audiences on YouTube. Through her videos, she's become a cultural bridge between India and Japan, proving that language isn't just about words, it's about connection. Please join me in welcoming woman many Indians fondly know as Mayo, Japan. Hello, good morning, very warm welcome. Of course, we wanted to have a musical start.
बैल जैसे धूल उड़ा के सिंग उठा के तुम भी नाचो बाज जम के ताल ढोल बेटा राजू उड़ के नाचो से भी तेज कोई कर सके जो बेद नाचो अस्तबल में घोड़े जैसे भाग डोर छोड़ नाचो मिट्टी जो तो रोट मोटा मिर्च खा के ऐसे नाचो हाँ जा छोरे हाँ जा गोरे हाँ जा छोरे नाचो 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 वीर नाचो 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 यारा नाचो.
I love that. Thanks for giving us such. I tried. Please have a seat. Guys, we want another round of applause. I mean, this was great start for us and बहुत कम ऐसा होता है कि हमारे पास मेहमान आए और इस तरीके से हमें एनर्जी दें, हमें उन्हें एनर्जी देनी पड़ती है. And why I am also switching to Hindi is that she speaks absolutely lovely Hindi. सबसे पहले तो हमारे दर्शकों को आप क्या कहना चाहेंगी मायो?
बहुत बहुत धन्यवाद इकट्ठे होने के लिए. मैं हूँ हिंदी बोलने वाली जापानी लड़की. मैंने हिंदी में बीए किया है जापान में ओसाका यूनिवर्सिटी में. और अच्छा थैंक यू. और हाँ और यूट्यूबर बन गई एंड आज मैं यहाँ बैठी हूँ. सो थैंक यू सो मच.
आपकी सीरीज मोशी मोशी मुंबई बहुत कमाल की है. अगर आप में से किसी ने चेक नहीं की तो YouTube पर आप वो जरूर देख सकते हैं. Now, you know, my first question is a little bit obvious.
Okay.
But I'm really curious to know the answer. Is India your home now?
Yes.
Is it home?
Yes.
And can you also share what made it your home? Any moment when you realized, okay, ये मेरा घर है.
So, अभी मैं मुंबई में रहती हूँ. 1 साल पहले मैं मुंबई शिफ्ट हो गई एंड उससे पहले there was a reason that made me home in Mumbai. So there is one particular Indian family who has been receiving me as a host family. So now the host mother of the house is actually the choreographer of Ghumar. So she's very cultural person and very nice, and she has been teaching me so many things about Indian culture.
While both these countries, India and Japan, you know, share a lot of commonalities, but there are also a few cultural differences. So what was the biggest cultural shock you received when you first came to India?
I think people are way more friendly than Japanese people. It's not like Japanese people are not friendly, but it takes a lot of time to get to know each other. First, we are like super polite and then keep distance and like just bow, you know. It's not, I'm not lying. I think bowing is the first thing. But in India, you can become friends very quickly. You ask, you know, bunch of questions and you quickly, you know, घर आ जाओ, हमारा खाना खाओ. And that has been like, there are so many invites for home cooked food, which I love absolutely.
सबसे ज़्यादा क्या पसंद करती हैं आप खाना हिंदुस्तानी खाने में?
आलू पराठा.
उसके आगे हर चीज जो है वो खत्म हो जाती है आलू के पराठे के आगे. But then you also explain, you know, Japan to Indians, and then you also introduce Indian culture to Japanese.
Yes.
Which job is harder?
I feel like introducing Indian culture to Japanese people is way harder, because I feel like Japanese people do not have a lot of correct image towards India. India is so diverse. It's like there is like Delhi. is a center, but the Nagaland is, for example, very different. It's totally different vibe, and explaining, like, it's not yet well known about those diversity of India, and it's not easy to explain this to Japanese people. So this is very challenging job, but I love it.
If you have to understand a country, of course, you understand it through their food, but also through their language. What were the first few words that you learned?
I think I only knew Namaste and maybe Swadesh or Swaraj from history books.
Right.
Like when I was learning world history, those are the words.
What was your gateway to Indian culture? What attracted you to this culture?
So my father used to be a Himalayan mountaineer, and he used to come to India very often. Then my father recommended me to study Hindi because it's a very interesting culture, interesting language, interesting country, and पढ़ने के बाद बहुत मतलब मजा आएगा ऐसे. So I did not know much about Indian culture before like deciding to study Hindi, but मुझे लगता है मैंने अच्छा काम किया है हिंदी
बहुत अच्छा काम किया, जोरदार तालियां एक बार मायो के लिए. वही खाने और भाषा के अलावा अगर आप किसी भी कंट्री को, किसी देश को समझना चाहते हैं तो मुझे लगता है मूवीज, सिनेमा एक अलग मीडियम है जिससे आप वो नॉलेज ले सकते हैं. You remember the first Hindi film you watched?
I think that was Ravan. That was the time that I was studying Hindi in a university, and मेरे जो senior had this, movie watching home party, and I joined. Then I watched Raman, and I think that after that I watched Om Shanti Om. And but in Japan, the funny thing is they're more like, since I was a Hindi student, I watched Raman and Om Shanti Om. But the majority of Japanese people get to know about Indian film through South Indian cinema. Like RRR का नाटू नाटू हमने अभी किया है, but RRR was a big hit, and उससे पहले बाहुबली was a big hit, and उससे बहुत पहले मुट्टू, the Rajinikanth movie was very famous in Japan. So South की movies बहुत चलती है जापान में.
Give it up for Mayo, guys.
दूसरा सेक्शन कर सकते हैं क्या?
कर सकते हैं?
बेली जैसे धूल उड़ा के सिंग उठा के तुम भी नाचो, बाजी चमके ताल ढोल बेटा राजू उड़ के नाचो. हीरो से भी तेज कोई कर सके जो बेच नाचो, बल में घोड़े जैसे भाग डोर छोड़ नाचो, बिट्टी जो तो रोट मोटा मिर्च खा के ऐसे नाचो. हाँ जा छोरे, हाँ जा गोरे, हाँ जा छोरे, नाचो 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 वीर नाचो, नाचो 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 यारा.